Hello friends, hello and welcome back to our little coffee club. Today, as promised, we're finally gonna get around to reviewing the coffee from Ritual. I brought this coffee back from our trip to the Bay Area. These coffee shops were wonderful. I went to two of them. One of them was in a little neighborhood. If you guys are familiar with Miami, it was something like, at least that's the feeling I got from it. It was something like Wynwood, not with all the graffiti, but the kind of like industrial feel you get in Wynwood, where you have these little warehouses and it's kind of industrial, but also people live there. So a mix like that. There was a lot of people walking in the street and doing fun things. There was a little park. So yeah, that's the kind of feel I got from it. The people there at Ritual were wonderful in both locations. I went to one also at the airport when we were getting ready to head out. And today I'm gonna try to tell you guys the story of what happened on our flight back and what I saw there at the San Francisco airport, which was kind of really cool. They had this robot that made coffee. So we'll see if we have enough time to talk about that. If not, I'll tell you guys the story on a different video. But anyway, today we're finally gonna open this up. We're gonna make a small batch like we usually do on the Tricolate. 10 grams of ground coffee and 170 grams of liquid coming out. So a 1:17 ratio. And the Tricolate, that's quite pretty common ratio that someone would use. It's very high yield, the Tricolate. It's a no bypass brewer. So the water kind of cannot find a way to get around the ground coffee. It has to kind of go through it. Therefore you get a higher extraction. And there is nothing wrong with bypass. Some brewers like the Origami, they give you some amount of bypass and it just creates a little bit of a different cup. It tastes a little different. The mouthfeel might be a little different. So it's just different. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just different. But when you're grinding very small amount of coffee and you want to get a real good extraction from it, the Tricolate is perfectly suited for that. So that's why I've been using it for making these little small batches when we just want to taste it, because we're also going to make espresso. So I have the machine all warmed up back there and we're going to pull a shot on it and we're going to dial in. So the first time I'm going to be dialing in, because with the very first coffee that I dialed in for it, the one from Acme, you guys saw that on my very first brew, I just kind of got lucky and got it pretty much spot on right from the get-go. So today we'll see if we get a little bit more of a fight from the machine. But like I was telling you guys, that so far I have found the Bianca to be very forgiving. And due to the fact that you have the pressure profiling, you can kind of control the flow of the water with the little paddle. You can kind of adjust for mistakes that you make. So you can give it a little more pressure or less pressure and still get a good shot of coffee from it. So we'll see what happens today with that. Let's get to the other counter and let's grind. I'm gonna grind at I think I have it set for 7 on the Easy Presso K Plus model. It's what I usually use for pour overs in the mornings. We're gonna go ahead and grind at 7. Again, 10 grams in, 170 grams out, and see what that tastes like. I can't wait to try this from Ritual. We'll read the tasting notes after I brew it, because I always like to guess at it. So let's get to the other counter and grind some coffee. All right, so there you guys see the setup. I'm gonna be brewing right into my little mug from Storyville. Told you guys the story about how this mug got here to my house in a previous video. But anyway, let's open the bag and see what we're working with. I think the tasting notes are in the front. I'm gonna try not to peek at it, because I always like to guess at it and see what I get from the coffee before reading it. Because once it's suggested to you, man, you just can't, then you can no longer not see it. You know what I mean? Okay, so we got that open. I'm not sure if I want to keep this coffee in this bag. It doesn't seem like something I would want to keep it once I open it, and I don't think I'm gonna get a good seal. So I might put it in one of my little utmost little containers. So let's go ahead, dose out 10 grams. Yeah, this bag is definitely, I'm not gonna keep it in here. Okay, we're at 9.8, 9.9. All right, we got it, 10 grams. Okay, we'll hold it here for now, and then later on, I'll put it into one of those little Atmos containers. All right, so here's the K Plus. As you can see, we are set at 7. So that's 70 clicks on the K Plus. It's just a number that, you know, I think is gonna work well here. I might get it wrong. What we wanna do here is get our yield in maybe somewhere around 3.5 to 4 minutes. That's what I've been doing previously on these small batches, and it's been working very well. So let's hope for the best. Okay, so this should take no time at all, being that we're at 70 clicks and it's only 10 grams. Yeah, I could see this is quite a light roast. Oh, I forgot to take a picture of it. I'll put a picture here in the video. I'll include a picture somewhere here so that you guys could see the roast level. But I could, you know, the way that, you know, it's a lot harder to grind a light roast. So you kind of feel it fighting you a little bit, you know? So yeah, this is gonna be quite a light roast. And again, the people at Ritual were so kind and nice. I had a really good experience there. They didn't care about me filming, and they were, well, it was a lovely experience. It really was. The lady that took care of me and did the pour over, which I got a clip of. I'll try to include it either at the end of the video or somewhere in here. But maybe if, you know, I should have time to put this together well. So at the end of the video, I'll try to include a few clips and pictures when I visited the coffee shop. Okay, so we have our 10 grams. Here's our Tricolate again. We got a new filter. Again, the Tricolate filters are very small and very durable. You can rinse them off really well and reuse them if you want to. We're gonna start warming everything up. The kettle is at 98. 98 is really close to boiling. I'm in Miami, so you know, boiling temperature for us is 100 Celsius. So it should warm everything up and get a good extraction on a light roast. Now, some darker roasts, you might want to go a lot cooler temperature than this, or you'll get over extracted flavors and it'll start tasting kind of like burnt tasting, and you'll start getting some bitterness from the coffee. Okay, so we're just gonna get some water in there, get everything warmed up. A little bit more. And the Tricolate, you don't really have to control the flow, which is another advantage of the Tricolate. It has this little screen. It has this little screen which kind of disperses the water evenly, and it kind of gives it like a little shower screen so that all the coffee gets saturated evenly and properly. So you don't really have to worry too much about controlling the flow. Or really not at all. You could just pour in there. Now when you are gonna take this off of your cup or whatever you're using to brew into, always put it sideways like this, because it does retain quite a bit of water. And then we get rid of this water. So now everything should be nice and warmed up. Something else you might want to take a look at before you start brewing is make sure that your filter is nice and flat on the brewer on the bottom, because sometimes it's kind of like warped and you'll have to press it down a little bit just to get it nice and flat. All right. Usually like to tap it, see if there's anything left in there, and then you spin this and it spins the burrs inside. And if there's something stuck, you'll feel it. Something else you can do is, and something I've been trying and experimenting with recently, is you could do some WDT in the container that you know, well, this is the catch cup for the K Plus, but if you're brewing on a electric grinder, then whatever catch cup it has, kind of distribute things already right in the catch cup, so help you declump everything. Then when you do it again in the brewer, what you're mainly concerned about is kind of making sure that you have an even bed with the same kind of density of coffee everywhere, okay? Controlling channeling on the Tricolate is the only downside to it, okay? If you don't distribute well, declump it well, make sure it's an nice even bed of coffee in there, a lot of the water is gonna go to whatever the weakest spot is on the coffee bed, and it's just gonna channel through there, and you still won't get a good extraction. As a matter of fact, you might get a really watery cup if you don't do it right. So controlling channeling, it's key. So I start by just kind of declumping everything so it's nice and really nice and fluffy in here. Then we put it into the brewer. Just make sure you got everything. Again, with a hand grinder, I'm not sure if all of them, but definitely with this one, you get like no retention. You don't have to worry about, I mean, as long as you're doing what I'm telling you, just tap it a few times and spin it to make sure there's nothing stuck in there. You got basically zero retention. Whatever you put in there as far as the beans is the same amount of grounds that you're gonna get out. All right, so the next thing, again, just go through your coffee bed here, make sure it's nice and even everywhere. You can also, what I used to do before, is kind of like once you start brewing, you can do some swirling, not a lot, but some gentle swirling, and then use a spoon to kind of go back and forth and move things around, and hopefully you get everything in the right spots and you get a really nice brew. But lately I've been using this technique, which really has been working very well, and it's just easier. Okay, so the next step, we're gonna do a blooming. So now we make sure the scale is on 0, and as soon as I start the blooming, that's when you start the timer, and that's when you want to keep track of the time. And what I found for this 10 grams of coffee is that if you get your extraction in somewhere between 3.5 minutes and 4 minutes, it's gonna be very tasty. So all right, so for blooming, we're gonna try to do, since we're doing 170 grams, I just want to keep it simple. I'm gonna do 70 grams, and then I'll do the next 100 after the blooming. Now while it's blooming, I go in again with the WDT and make sure I go through everything, so make sure all the coffee grounds are absorbing water, all of them, so that it's nice and an even extraction, okay? So let's go ahead and do our first 70 grams. So let me start the timer. Again, water's at 98. I'm left-handed, so I kind of always have to do that awkward reach around like that. All right, wow, got it almost perfect, 69.8. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in there and use the WDT tool. And just gently, obviously you don't wanna damage the filter or make it worse by, just, if you push the filter out of the way, you're gonna have a bad time. Just take your time, do it nice and slow, take your time, go through all the coffee grounds, make sure everything's getting saturated properly. See, that's why these videos, I gotta put music on them, because there's times like this when I'm prepping something, or something's going on, I'm tasting the coffee, and then there's like just silence. I don't like that. Okay, that's almost, the bloom is practically all drained through. We're gonna go ahead with our next 100 grams. Now we go straight to 100. Okay, we ended up at 172 exactly. Okay, we're done with our hot water, so I just turned the kettle off. Okay, and I like to take the lid off because I want to keep an eye on it. You want to check as soon as you can see the bed of grounds, you're almost done. Now the last step that I do is just move it around just slightly like this, back and forth. shake it around a little bit. And I have found that to just give you a nice flat bed of coffee at the end. Okay, so just, gently shake it around a little bit. That should flatten things out, and now you should get a nice, lovely extraction. Okay, we're 2.5 minutes in. I hope I gave you guys a good camera angle today. I think I did a little bit better job with the angle. I can't wait to taste this coffee. I've had it here already for a little while. Well, let me not look at it too much. I don't want to see the tasting notes. Let me leave it there for you guys. You guys could probably see them there. You could read them. So you'll know if once I start talking if I'm way off. Okay, I can start seeing the ground coffee underneath there. So we're getting close. Anyway, I hope I'm keeping you guys company. I hope that you guys are brewing something tasty here with me, and you're gonna join me on this. It's hard to get the aroma when you're brewing. It's one of the things I don't like, because when I brew in the origami, I can really smell the coffee as it's brewing, and some of them have very little, just very little aroma, but some of them do. They have a nice aroma, and it's just part of the, of the enjoyment, let's say. But not with the Tricolate. I think just with the plastic and stuff, at least I don't get it. Okay, so next time I'm gonna have to grind coarser. I'm at 70 clicks, so on the 7. We're gonna have to grind coarser because we're almost at 5 minutes and I'm still not done. So yeah, I might have to grind this one like at 80 clicks, at least 80, maybe even 85. And the machine timed out. You can see it there flashing. It's one of the things I've meant to do is to turn off so that it doesn't time out after only I think it times out like in 30 minutes, but it takes like 20 minutes to heat up. So that doesn't even make sense. So the way you get it going again, you just lift the brew lever up and bring it back down, and it just, it heats back up. It's still hot because it just turned off. Wow, so this is way long. Now, I have found the Tricolate to be very forgiving. So there's a wide range of, of brewing time that it'll still give you a really pleasant, really nice cup. The longer you go, the more sweeter flavors you're gonna get, but you'll start losing some of the brightness and the acidity of the coffee. So you're trading one thing for the other. Now, getting that balance to where you like it is different for everyone. That's just up to you, up to what you like. But getting that balance, that's what this whole dialing in process is all about. You want to get it to where you have enough brightness and acidity that you enjoy that, but still balance with some sweetness. And that's different for everyone. Obviously, this process has gone for way too long, but what are we going to do? I'm going to taste it. If it's good, I'm going to drink it. If not, then we'll try again. If I have to try again, I might not get to make espresso. So I don't know. We'll see what happens here. That's how it goes with coffee, guys. All right, it's just about dry. I'm gonna call it here. But wow, I'm just gonna wait till 7 minutes because it's still I still see some moisture on top there. So give it a few seconds here. All right, we're calling it at 7 minutes. Now, 7 minutes that's a typical brew time for me when you do double the amount of grounds. I put 17, 18 grams in there, and it'll take around 7 minutes. It could take 6 to 7 minutes. So this being that it's half the amount of ground coffee in there, I expected it to be more close to like 4 minutes. And well, here we are at the same time that I usually get when I do double the amount of, or close to double the amount of grounds. Let's try it. Let's get to the other counter, try it, and see. Well, you know what? Let's not even go that far. Let me try it right here, because if it's not good, we're gonna try again right now. So give me a second. Okay, something else on the Tricolate is that you want to give it a nice stir before you try it, because everything settles to the bottom. Because it's a slow brewer, it takes so long brewing that everything just starts to settle, and it might taste like very weak if you don't stir it, and then when you get to the bottom, it's like too strong. I don't know why this got so messy on me today. You guys know how I don't like mess, but we're gonna have to roll with it. All right, let's taste this. Wow, it's quite lovely. I'm not gonna brew another one because this is really tasty. And we'll talk about it some more when we get to the counter. All right, guys, cheers. Let's try it again. Wow, that is that is very tasty. You know, I gotta say something right off the bat. You know, we tried from the Bay Area, right? We tried the Acme coffee that came from like Monterey, Seaside, California area. Carmel, all that on the coast. Then we tried the, what was it called? Red, let me take a look at it. All right, here they are. So we tried the Red Bay that came from the ferry building in downtown, right close to the wharf. And the one from Acme, which you guys know I took it out of this bag immediately because, again, like this one, I don't think this bag's gonna hold up. This is a good bag. Just like, not as good, but close to the ones like from Good Brothers, which are very high quality. You could keep them in there, the coffee in there for as long as well, you know, if you're gonna drink it within a month or so, then it's fine. Okay, this is the Acme one, okay, the Acme coffee. And I have to say right off the bat, so I'm giving you guys kind of like an overview of these Bay Area coffees, okay? So this one from Red Bay, I would put it a little bit better than this one. And I would put these like on a mid-tier, kind of like in the specialty coffee where, yeah, they're good, but they're just somewhere in the middle of the road. They're not great. They're not something spectacular, okay? But they are good. Good coffees, better than practically anything you're gonna find you know, at your supermarket. Okay, so then this one right off the bat, I'm gonna put in the same level as the side glass ones. Let me get those, I forgot to get those. Okay, here are the side glass ones, right? We have one from Honduras, we have one from Mexico. Now, I think I already mentioned, I prefer the Mexican one just, but barely. They're both very good, okay? Let's say if I were to rate this one a 7.5, this would be a 7, right behind it. Just like if I were to rate this one, you know, 5.5, this would be a 5, right behind it. And now with Ritual, I don't know where it's gonna land between these, but they're on a different level. This is a different level over here, and this is a different level over here. Okay, just so that you guys know. Yeah, this is quite nice, really nice. Now, let's see. Okay, now that it's cooling down a little bit, that acidity is coming up just a little bit. But right now, because of how long it took to extract, the acidity is a little bit low. I'm gonna try to get the brew time faster to kind of bring it up a little bit more, because it's just very sweet. It's very sweet. This is awesome. Okay, a lot of people would just don't want to change this. This is how they would want it. You know, depends how much you appreciate that acidity. And in pour overs, I really like it. I like that a lot. All right, let's try the tasting notes. Yeah, this is quite lovely. It's very nice and sweet. Something, I expect to see something about sweetness here. I don't know if it's that sugar note that we get sometimes or some kind of like sweet fruit, you know? But definitely, at least the way I brewed it just now, I wouldn't call it citrusy. It's more on the fruitier side. Yeah, the acidity is it's not enough for me to say if it's like berries or more like citrus kind of, you know, flavors. Because of the sweetness, I would say some kind of berry that's sweet and low in acidity, and some kind of maybe sugar note or something even sweeter than that. Wow, that's lovely. Okay, that's in the same level with these guys. Where it's gonna land, you know, I don't know, I gotta have more of it and try different things. The side glass, I wish I could have made it to one of their coffee shops, but like I said previously, I didn't run into one and I didn't make a point to like drive specifically there like I did with this one. And the reason was because I already had these at home. I was already trying these, so it wasn't, for me, it wasn't so like important to me to try to make it out to these guys because I already had the coffee and I hadn't tried Ritual, and it had been recommended to me by Andrew from the Bay Area. Shout out to Andrew if you're still watching the videos. but yeah, he recommended these two roasters, and I have to say, you know, they're top notch. They're top notch. These guys are good, but a little bit in a different level. Wow. And you know, hey, maybe it's just what I chose, the bag that I picked up. I don't know, you know, obviously that could all change, but it's from this up here is what I'm gonna say. Okay, so all right, so what can I say? A fruitier coffee. It has some kind of sweet note. Is it that sugar note? I don't know, something sweet. It could be a sweet, some kind of sweet fruit. I would not call it a citrusy coffee. Very mild acidity right now, and again, because probably the way I brewed it. So now when we make espresso, we'll see what happens, but you know, I'm not getting that much from the aroma, but flavor wise, super good. You know, I'm gonna call it as the acidity, like a little hint of lemon, just barely a couple drops in there, but you get that little hint. That's what I'm gonna call it. I don't know, maybe it could be grapefruit, maybe a little hint of lemon. Obviously, like maybe some berries in there of some kind, give you that fruitier kind of flavor. And some sweet notes. So let's read it. I don't know. I could have it all wrong. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Let's see what we got. So, all right, the notes. Here we go. Nectarine. Nectarine. We've seen that before. So, yeah, I mean, I guessed at more like perhaps lemon or grapefruit. They went with nectarine. Now, anise. Anise, I don't get that at all. I'm not sure if I was supposed to get that maybe on the aftertaste or, but no, I don't know, I don't get it. And then the last one, milk chocolate. Okay, that's my sweetness right there. So would I have called it milk chocolate? You know, I'm not sure, I don't know, but I do get some kind of sweetness to it. So milk chocolate, that'll do, that works for me. You know, but here's the thing, once it's suggested to you, now you're gonna like gravitate to that, you know, like you start seeing that nectarine. Yeah, I could see how this could be nectarine. And then you're gonna see like, yeah, that sweetness, yeah, maybe milk chocolate. And then you kind of can't get that out of your head, so you can't really guess at it. That's why I always do this process like this. Anyway, I'm gonna finish this and then I'll meet you guys back. I mean, I have very little anyway, but I'm gonna meet you guys back in a second at the other counter and we'll try to dial it in for espresso. All right, so man, I'm very pleasantly surprised with this one. I'm gonna really enjoy this one a whole bunch. I didn't read everything on here. You know, I read the tasting notes, but I didn't read everything else. But on here on the back, they suggest for drip coffee. You know, that doesn't matter. You can make espresso with any kind of coffee. It just depends if you want more like a traditional type of espresso or something more like third wave, or maybe we're into already the fourth wave of coffee. I'm not sure, but something new school. We got new school versus old school, right? So it depends what you're looking for. So it says here Santa Barbara, Honduras. So another one from Honduras. You know this? I wonder, let's look at the other one from Sightglass. Okay, I think they're two different farms. The one from Sightglass is Finca Bella Vista, Jose Antonio Diaz. Strawberry, Adriatic fig, cane sugar. Again, the sweet note. Again, like fruity. So similar, but I think they're different. Different farms. I wonder if it says. Let's see what else we have here. Yeah, they give you the whole story. I mean, this is a lot to read, but they do give you a little story of where it comes from and everything. This one was roasted. What's this? Like about a month and a half ago. So about a month and a half. It's not ideal, but it's still perfectly okay. It wasn't in a sealed bag. I hadn't opened it. Again, it has the little one-way valve to, you know, so that you could keep it in here. If you haven't opened it up, you should be fine for quite a while. Okay, so there's a little story of Ritual. And well, there's a lot to read. I'm not gonna read all of this to you guys now, because this video is gonna get like super long. It's already gonna end up super long no matter what. But yeah, they give you a little story, and I don't think it's the same farm, but again, these two coffees are from the same, perhaps the same region or whatever. Therefore, you know, the similarities in them, they're both wonderful. Right off my first taste, wow, if I had to, like, if I was really pressed to pick one, I think I would go with the Ritual. The Mexican, well, I would put it equal with this one. Equal. This one just below, just a little bit behind, you know. And again, that's the bags that I picked up. Maybe you grab a different bag, have a little bit different experience. I imagine it could change a little bit. Now, all right, so this is gonna be our first dialing in on the Bianca. Like I said, I got extremely lucky last time. I have it still set, the grinder at 11. I went down a little bit more as I've used the coffee. I've had to go just slightly make tweaks. I'm at 11. We'll see what we get at 11 with 18 grams in. Again, we'll shoot for somewhere between, like, I don't know, somewhere around 50 grams out and see what we get. Okay, so now's when I have to be careful and not bring this bad boy out, because it always happens to me. Then I can't check retention for you guys, or it becomes very problematic. You guys get mad at me because I didn't do retention. It's the best part of the video, so I ruined it. But if you've been watching all the videos, you know what I'm talking about. If you just ran into this for the first time, welcome. Consider joining us here in the little coffee club. We just hang out, make coffee, talk about coffee stuff, and you know, I keep you company for a little while. That's what it's all about. All right, here we go. Again, this bag the bag itself just doesn't cut it. I mean, I made a mess of it. Maybe I didn't open it right. I don't know. Maybe I should have cut it with scissors right up here. I don't know. It doesn't say to do that, but all right. Okay, 18.3. So we're gonna have to get a couple beans out. Hey, perfect, 18 grams. Okay. We love coffee. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And by the way, the person that started Ritual, which I believe she's still the owner. And there's several in San Francisco. They're scattered. And again, I went to The one at the airport also had a real good experience there. But her name is Eileen, same like my wife. All right, let's grind this. All right, let's see what we got. See if we got retention. Oh boy, here we go. 18.2, so we got a little bit extra out. Should I roll with that? Oh wait, it's bouncing between 18.1 and 18.2. So I'm not gonna adjust that. We're gonna roll with that. All right, let's do some puck prep. I have a feeling if I don't get this right on the get-go, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do another shot. I got things to do, guys. I'm not sure. We might have to pick this up on a part 2, but maybe we get lucky. And again, the Bianca's very forgiving. You can adjust do some pressure profiling with the flow control and kind of try to save it. So we'll see what happens. You know what? I'm gonna use that technique of little declumping right in here first. Why not? I'm gonna give us the best possible chance of getting this right. Okay, I got my dosing funnel I showed you guys last time. I'm missing something. I'm missing the other little rag. Left it on the other counter. All right. Again, be careful with all this if you have if you are new to a dual boiler like me, E61 group head, like this is. Everything gets super hot. Even this, like you touch it, the metal parts, it's not gonna be a fun time. So just be careful. Again, this one's 58 millimeters, so we can just do it this way. Makes it easier. Tap it in a little bit. All right, perfect. Makes things nice and tidy and easy. Okay, we put the dosing ring or dosing funnel so that then we can get in there and distribute. I don't have a distribution tool just yet, but again, if you do WDT, what I'm doing here now with the little needles, and you're declumping, moving things around, you start at the bottom, kind of making swirls, and you work your way up. If you do this process correctly, I don't even see the reason to distribute any further. You know, it should be everything nice and even. At the end, you'll see it. You know, comb it on the top, make sure it's nice and even everywhere. Give it a couple taps. And, you know, everything's nice and distributed. I don't even see the point in doing any further distribution, but I will get one. It's part of the fun. The toys are part of the fun, guys. Okay, so we're tamping. Again, this tamper has been a game changer for me as far as tampers, because with the Brewer one, it just didn't fit in my hand properly. I couldn't get a good, you know, so with this, I'm doing so much better. You know, now at the end, I just check it, make sure it's even everywhere. And that went like really far down. I think it might choke. And I'm not good at guessing at this machine because I just started with it, okay? But it just looks a lot further down than I was doing with the other coffee. But maybe it's just so different, you know? I don't know, we'll see. All right, so at the end, just make sure it's nice and flat and even. Again, I like using the puck screen, and on my very first shot, I don't wet it or anything. It's just, you know, it's kind of room temperature. It's not cold or anything, so it's gonna, people like to warm it up so that when you start pulling your shot, the water doesn't lose any heat, but I mean, come on. All right. All right, yeah, it's kind of far down in there. If I had to guess, I'm gonna say it's gonna choke or it's gonna be a really long shot, but I could be all wrong because again, every bag is different. This is a light roast, and light roast usually you have to grind finer, so it might work out perfect. We'll just see what happens. Just lock it in. Okay, let me bring you guys in closer. Okay, right here in this angle, you guys could kind of see everything that's going on except for the pressure gauge, which I'm gonna work on getting that figured out. So maybe I can show you guys, like as soon as I hit the lever, the shot timer, wow, I just timed out again. Okay, as soon as I hit the lever to start the shot timer starts. Okay, so it'll start timing the shot, and the scale, let me set it up. Let me start it. Okay, the scale is going to time the shot from first drip. So as soon as it starts dripping, that's when this one will start. So the difference between the two, that's your pre-infusion time. So my goal is to do Slayer shots. I'm gonna keep practicing that. That's what I wanna learn really well. So you want this one to be about 20 to 30 seconds longer than this one. The whole process should take about a minute. So let's say this one should read 1 minute, this one will read 30 seconds, proper Slayer shot, okay? So it should be at least like 40 seconds. So 20 seconds and 20 seconds, or 25 and 25, something like that, okay? That's what the end goal is here, okay? With Slayer shots. All right, today we're gonna brew right into the shot glass. All right, let's see if the scale doesn't let me down, and sometimes it doesn't. Oh yeah, you start with the paddle at what we call 5 o'clock. I showed you guys that on that previous video. Now, as soon as it starts to build pressure, you have to kind of put the paddle back down until it slows down. You should be able to control it. I have it right below 3 bars. Okay, so this should go on for about, I'll let it go for like 30 seconds and then we'll ramp up to 9 bars. So we haven't gotten any drips. I have a feeling we're too fine. Okay, we're going to 9 bars. Oh, it started dripping right away when I went to 9. Okay, I overshot it. I actually went all the way up to 10. I'm rolling it back. This is the process that I would like for you guys to see. And it's not that hard to get it right. Okay, so we have it right at 9 bars. And we're getting a nice brew. Again, as soon as we hit, as far as your yield, the weight, somewhere around, between 45 and 50 grams, I will stop it. So we're right at 9 bars. A little bit more yield. Okay, so we got it right on 45 grams. Our shot time, as far as from first drip, was 47 seconds, and we ended up at 80 seconds. So it is kind of like somewhere around half and half, but it is a long shot. Now, is it gonna taste great? Well, let me give you guys a quick taste test. If it tastes good, we're gonna roll with this. But now, I'm gonna make a note of it. So you guys always make a note of what your shot time was and all this stuff so you can make adjustments. Now your adjustments, if you're keeping everything constant, meaning your tamping pressure and the other parameters, then mainly you control the timing with the grind size. So since I want to speed it up, I have to grind a little bit coarser. So instead of being at 11, my next shot, I'll grind it at 12 and see what I get. And that's how you dial it in. But this might be just spot on. So on these little Kroof cups, you can kind of swirl. They have some little winglets that stir up your coffee inside. If not, you use a little spoon or something. Okay, that is quite lovely. For me, it's really, really nice. As a matter of fact, the amount of brightness and acidity as espresso is way higher than what I just got from the Tricolate. So if you're looking for something with some good brightness, still balanced, wow, this shot was very, very good. Let's get back. We'll talk more. Let's get back to the other counter. All right, let's give it another taste test. All right, mouthfeel. Let's say it's not as thick and gooey as what you normally get from the niche. But I gotta say, I have noticed since I went to the Bianca, that has changed a little bit. The shots are a little bit cleaner. You know, that could be a plus or a minus for you. I really like that thickness to it. So in some sense, the shots from the Brewer, the little infuser, they give you more thickness. And here you have a little bit more clarity. You can taste it a little bit more. Oh boy. You know, hey, I got both, so I can go back and forth. It just depends what you're in the mood for, you know. Just because you like ice cream doesn't mean you want ice cream all the time, right? Sometimes you might want cheesecake or you might want pizza, you know. It depends. It's good to have the options. Wow, that's lovely. Okay, definitely as espresso, more aroma. And this is one of those, I'm gonna say one of those rare coffees where I've enjoyed it pretty much equally on my first try as espresso and pour over. Okay, it doesn't usually go that way, okay? I end up liking it more one way or the other. And by the end of all my, you know, I have quite a bit here. I'm gonna pull a few more shots and make a few more pour overs, and I'll play with it and let you guys know. But it's rare that I like one kind of equally. This is was great espresso shot. Again, what about them Slayer shots, man? Something to say to that, you know. I'm gonna keep messing with that, but maybe there's something to it. Again, Joan, as far as your Brewer dual boiler, you know, there's a Slayer mod on that. You can always mod it out if you want to. If you want to. I don't know if I would have the guts to go ahead and break open the machine and go to that extent to make modifications. But now, one of the things why this is an end game coffee espresso machine for me, one of the reasons is because I can buy spare parts for it, and I want to, like, you know, get in there and do the stuff myself. Okay, on the Brewer won't sell you the internal components of the espresso machine. I tried. When my little pressure gauge broke after many years of having it, you know, I tried to order it, and that's when I found out that you can't order the internal components. You know, they will sell like the gasket and they'll sell you a few things, but you cannot order like the pressure gauge or the pump or whatever, you know, the thermal block, or none of those items you can order. But on the Bianca, you can order absolutely anything from Lelit. Anything on that machine, I can order it and replace it myself if I want to. So that's one of the reasons why this machine is endgame for me. Another thing is the fact that you can do the flow control, you know, so you can do that pressure profiling. I find that like super cool now that I've been doing it. And again, I told you guys on the video before this one, when I showed you guys my very first shot I pulled on the machine, which, by the way, I got a lot of like nice comments about it, people telling me how nice the machine looked and how my little cinematic sequence looked so cool, you know. So that's there is the video before this one. Okay, so if you want to check that out, take a look at it. It was my very first shot that I ever pulled on the Bianca, and again, I got so lucky with the grind size. Well, definitely, now that it's cooling, you get a lot more of that citrus. You get a lot more of that. Now again, it was suggested to me. So now, you know, you get more of that nectarine. The anise, I don't know about that. You know, if anything, the anise is kind of like something in the like aftertaste, the lingering taste that stays in your mouth at the end. Could be a little bit of that spiciness. You know, anise is of those little stars that you could grind them up, and it's just like a spice, you know. So yeah, the milk chocolate, I don't know, right now, definitely the milk chocolate and the pour over, for sure. And again, that's how they recommend this coffee as drip, so I could definitely see that. But as espresso, no, definitely not milk chocolate. Maybe a little bit of the dark chocolate, maybe, because you know, from the brightness, and you do have some sweetness, but way less. The pour over was way sweeter, way less brightness, way less acidity. Wow. You know, rarely do I. Oh, here's another thing. Okay, here's another thing. For milk base, I imagine I would not like this to mix it with milk, because the espresso, for me, it has like, you know, it's just too much brightness and acidity to mix with milk. To have the straight shot, it's awesome. I love it. But when you mix it with milk, that's when I want just the sweetness, maybe some of that dark chocolate, caramel flavors. So I want a more developed roast. This, I think, for my taste, at least to mix with milk, is a little bit too light of a roast. And again, I expect that. When I bought this, I bought him, you know, I make a lot more pour overs than espressos, because I make pour overs every single morning. So I go through light roast a lot faster than something darker, when I just basically use it just, with some exceptions, I basically use it just for espresso. And again, mostly when I'm gonna mix with milk. All right, lovely. I'm gonna let you guys go, because again, this I imagine is gonna end up being another hour marathon. So welcome to the club. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I appreciate each and every single one of you. Leave me a comment below. I answer absolutely everyone. If you saw something here that you want to know more about, maybe we can revisit it in another video. So yeah, comment below, and I'll see you guys next week. So here we are in the streets of San Francisco. Peace. Looking for some coffee? Ritual. Highly recommend it. We'll see if we find it in this area.
Why is it hard on my own? Why am I not like her? Be more so. Why must the curtains come down? Why must the curtains come down?
All right, so we got side glass at home, and now we're here at the actual location in San Francisco at Ritual Coffee. So I got to try side glass, and now I get to try Ritual. Can't wait. Here's the one we're gonna try.
Lead up to why he ended
Full milk store right in the cappuccino. Full milk store right in the cappuccino.
Why is it hard on my own? Why am I not like her? Be more so. Why must the curtains come down? Why must the curtains come down? Softness now. In the end, we should leave something special. Let him talk.
Wow, what a great experience at Ritual. I really loved it. If I see a side glass later, I'll go in and check that out as well, but at least I've tried their coffee already. But our first experience with Ritual, and first of all, I gotta say the staff, wow, just lovely. You know, dealing with a coffee shop that they care like that is just next level. Let's just call it next level. The coffee is next level. This is just so great, man. Yesterday, you know, we had just arrived. I just got well, I'm not gonna say where I got the coffee from, but yeah, it wasn't a great experience. It was just a run-of-the-mill chain, and yeah, it wasn't great. But this is just next level. So all I could say. This is so juicy. The acidity, the sweetness of it. Like I always say, specialty is a little more special. But yeah, this is a great spot, great area. I mean, I'll try to look it up and put the name here on the screen, because it's just this is a nice little area. I love this. It has the same kind of feel like Wynwood back in Miami. It's like a little Wynwood type area, and just little shops, specialty shops. Really cool, really nice vibe. I love it. And the coffee shop, Ritual, again, next level. The people there were awesome. I love the experience, and I don't know what else to say. I mean, it was great. I bought some coffee, so we'll try it once we get back home. We got it.
I wish to be something special in the end. I wish to be so much better in the end. I wish to be me.